Ready to open the hood? UseTool for the tutorials.
And for car parts, the right idea is the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
You will find the bulk, brake discs and pads used in the video exclusively on the Mr. Auto website and through the link in the description. Turn your engine off, pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever and open the bonnet. Open the brake fluid reservoir. In order to change the brake discs and pads on your vehicle, you will have to raise the front of the car and take off the wheels. This will provide you with full access to the required area. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels, raise the front of the vehicle and put it in the two-axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. Turn the disc outwards, this will facilitate the process. Insert a flathead screwdriver to the outer extremity of the oblong hole located on the front of the brake caliper. Set it off using the screwdriver as a lever by pulling it towards you. This will then push the piston in. Don't hesitate to push the screwdriver further in once the space between the pad and the caliper allows. Ensure that you have pushed the piston in as far as possible before moving on to the next operation. Using a flathead screwdriver, lift the holding spring on the pads, then take it out. Make sure you keep a finger on the spring during the operation to avoid it jumping out. Using a thin flathead screwdriver, remove the caps covering the caliper mounting bolts. Using a socket wrench, a socket bit and a 7mm Allen bit, undo the two caliper mounting bolts. Remove the caliper. You can now remove the pads. You can now remove the brake caliper and place it on one of the coils of the shock absorbers. Using a wire brush, clean the brake caliper mount around the area where the pads will be placed. This will facilitate their installation. To unblock the disc, insert a thin flathead screwdriver that can slip in between the two sides of the disc. You have to insert it in front of the brake caliper mount so that it butts up against the latter. Using a T30 Torx socket, release the screw that holds the disc. Withdraw the screwdriver. Depending on the state of the nuts on the brake caliper mount, it may be necessary to use a hammer to loosen them. Using a T-handle and a 21mm socket, loosen the first two screws that fasten the brake caliper mount. Finish removing the disc retaining screw to remove the disc. Sometimes the disc may get stuck on the hub. If this happens, use a hammer to remove it. Take the disc off. Clean the hub with a wire brush, and once that is done, coat it with copper grease. This will help avoid deterioration caused by oxidation and aid with future interventions.
Please support us. Subscribe and like the video, that will be really cool.
Take the new brake rotor. Before installing the new disc, it is vital to clean it using brake cleaner and paper towels to take off the storage paraffin. If your new disc is painted, you can place it directly onto the wheel hub. Place the new disc onto the hub and rescrew the fastening screw by hand as much as possible. Put the brake caliper mount back on, screwing it by hand to begin with. And finish with a socket wrench and a 21mm socket to fix it completely. Finish off the tightening with a Torx wrench. You will find the bulk parts and products used in the video on the Mr. Auto site and in the link in the description. Take the new brake pads. Coat the outside of the new pads with copper grease. Then, put the pads in place on the piston side of the brake caliper and then the other in the brake caliper mount. Now put the brake caliper back in place, ensuring that the mounting bolts are in front of their housing. Push them in and start screwing by hand. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Put the caps back in place. Put back in place the holding springs of the pads. You can use a hammer to help you. Ensure that the spring is fully inserted into the hole. You can now repeat the operation on the other side. Put the wheels of your vehicle back on and lower it to the ground. Before starting your car, don't forget to screw the brake fluid stopper back in. Be careful. Before using your vehicle again, start your car and pump the brake pedal a few times to bring the brake pads together again. Try to drive smoothly and avoid sudden braking for the first 50 kilometers or so to avoid glazing the new pads. Operation completed.
Hello, if this video helped you, like and subscribe.